Tyreek Hill likely to join the Chiefs next season. All signs are pointing to it. Tyreek Hill is expected to return to the Chiefs for the upcoming season, and Chiefs Kingdom couldn't be more fired up. With Hill back in the lineup, this team isn't just good, they're heading towards something legendary. His chemistry with Mahomes, his game-breaking speed, and his championship mindset are exactly what Kansas City needs to dominate the league once again. Just imagine. Mahomes slinging bombs deep to Hill Kelsey, control in the middle, Andy Reid drawing up unstoppable plays. It's not just hype, it's history in the making. So tell us, are you excited for the next season? Drop in the comments if you're ready to watch this team take over the NFL in 2026. You think dynasties just disappear into silence? You think greatness bows out after one bad night? Let me tell you something loud and clear. What I just uncovered about the Kansas City Chiefs is going to have the whole league trembling. Sit down, strap in, don't even blink, because this isn't your average offseason headline. This is a war cry. Smash that like if you still ride with royalty. Drop a W if you believe. L if you folded, and hit that subscribe because you're about to witness what real legacy looks like. Now listen closely, because I'm about to break this down in a way only the real ones will understand. You ever seen a lion wounded? You ever seen a king fall only to rise to an even greater throne? That's the Kansas City Chiefs right now. People forgot too fast. They're whispering about that Super Bowl loss like it wrote the final chapter. But here's what they're missing. Kansas City didn't just lose a game. They tasted pain deep enough to spark a fire no offseason pickup, no ESPN hot take, no analyst ranking can extinguish. That fire, it's roaring in Arrowhead right now. And you don't calm that down. You fuel it. You let it simmer into an obsession. And that's exactly what's bubbling in Missouri. An obsession to remind the world what greatness looks like when it's cornered, cut, and still standing. Y'all want to talk about a 15-2 regular season like it's just a stat on the back of a cereal box? Let me make it clear, Kansas City isn't just a good team. They bulldozed the league. They were chasing immortality, not one, not two, but 3 straight rings. Nobody's ever done that, ever. And yeah, the Eagles clipped their wings. On the biggest stage, they stumbled. But teams that win like the Chiefs, losing hits different. It stings. It fuels. It evolves them. You better believe Patrick Mahomes woke up with fire in his veins. You better believe Travis Kelce still tastes that bitter confetti. They're not sulking. They're reloading. Now, let's talk about the disrespect. Nate Davis at USA Today dropped them to 4th in post-draft rankings. 4th? I'm not saying the man doesn't know football, but come on. You're telling me a squad with Mahomes, Andy Reid, and a front office that's treated winning like a routine for 6 years is 4th best? That's like saying Michael Jordan wasn't elite because he missed a jumper. You don't measure greatness by the fall, you measure it by how they rise. And these boys, they're already climbing. Let me remind you what everyone's overlooking. This team ain't content. They ain't sipping champagne off old trophies. They're starving. And they didn't waste this offseason. They retooled first-round tackle Josh Simmons is locked and loaded. That means Mahomes is about to get the kind of blindside protection he's never had. Was that pressure off his back? Gone. Now he gets to slice through defenses like a surgeon with no distractions. Simmons is young. He's hungry. He's got something to prove. Pair that with Mahomes' IQ, pocket presence, and elite arm, that offense just evolved. And let's talk Rashee Rice. Yeah, he's had bumps, maybe even facing a suspension, but when he's out there, electric, unstoppable, real. That chemistry with Mahomes isn't a fluke, it's a storm. Even part-time, he'll stretch defenses, demand shadows, and unlock the whole offense. Kelsey eats. Slot receivers thrive. The run game breathes. And here's the scary truth. Mahomes turns average into all-pro. Now imagine what he'll do with real dogs beside him. Now, but the AFC's stacked. Of course it is. It always has been. But Kansas City hasn't just survived, they've ruled. 9 straight division titles, 5 Super Bowl trips in 6 years. That's not luck. That's not coincidence. That's dynasty-level dominance. You don't walk into Arrowhead thinking you'll win. You walk in praying you make it out with your pride intact. Let me make one thing crystal clear. Kansas City knows they're the hunted. They're not chasing anyone. They wear the crown. They carry the weight of greatness, and with it, every team's crosshairs on their back. But the real pressure, it doesn't come from Twitter trolls or analyst chatter. It comes from within, from the expectations born in a locker room built by killers, forged in fire, and driven by a culture that refuses to settle. That's not hype. That's not exaggeration. That's truth. So when I say they're coming back with a vengeance, understand this is personal. Every ranking that dropped them, every hater that declared the dynasty dead, every rookie quarterback who thinks he's marching into Arrowhead to dethrone Mahomes, you just poured gasoline on a blaze that was already burning. And let me tell you, you don't want to see Kansas City angry. You don't want a Patrick Mahomes with something to prove. You don't want a Travis Kelce who's still the best to ever do it and now has a vendetta. You don't want to walk into Arrowhead on a frigid night under the lights with fans howling like it's a battlefield. Yeah, the AFC West made moves. Sure, Denver, Vegas, the Chargers, they added pieces, but don't confuse getting better with getting equal. While others play musical chairs, the Chiefs are laying bricks, building strongholds, and reinforcing a dynasty. Don't let that Super Bowl sting fool you. This isn't a crumbling empire. This is a sleeping giant waking up. More dangerous than ever, because when you have continuity in leadership, a deep-rooted culture, and a quarterback who's redefining the position, you don't just recover, you resurge. Let's talk about that man, Patrick Lavon Mahomes Tekken. He's not just playing quarterback, he's evolving the role. Now look, lasers, mind-bending arm angles, ice-cold poise in crunch time. He's broken the mold, rewritten the standard, and now he's coming off a Super Bowl heartbreak with a fire only legends carry. Y'all remember what happened last time the world doubted him? Rings were collected, records shattered, silencers activated. So to every analyst shuffling Kansas City down your precious rankings, to every bandwagon fan who jumped ship, keep that same energy, because when the Chiefs catch fire, your silence will be deafening. You don't bury greatness with one loss. You don't kill a dynasty with a single stumble. And you definitely don't measure a champion's heart by the volume of the critics. You measure it by the volume of their comeback. Now, let's turn the heat up. That Super Bowl loss, it hurt. But if you thought that was the end, you don't understand what championship DNA looks like. That kind of pain doesn't destroy a team like the Chiefs. It refines them, hardens them, and forges monsters. So how do they return to glory? Let's break it down. Kansas City is still the gold standard in the AFC. That's not up for debate. It's a fact. You've got Mahomes, the most lethal QB this league has ever seen. You've got Andy Reid, a genius who's been designing offensive nightmares for decades. You've got a front office that knows how to draft, develop, and dominate year after year. This isn't a team that folds after a bad night. This is the same franchise that rose from a 50-year drought to become a modern-day juggernaut. 5 Super Bowl appearances in 6 seasons. Find another team with that resume. I'll wait. And yes, the AFC is getting stronger. Every team wants to be next. The Chargers, Broncos, Raiders, they're trying. But trying doesn't equal triumph. Because while they're still proving they belong, Kansas City has already planted their flag at the summit. Teams are making splashy moves this offseason, but pause for a second and ask yourself, what have those other squads actually accomplished? What have they truly done to earn the respect of a dynasty that's owned the throne for nearly a decade? I'll tell you, nothing. They're still in pursuit, still playing catch-up. Meanwhile, Kansas City has lived on the summit, and they know exactly what it takes to stay on top. Let's rewind the tape and remind y'all about Chiefs' resilience. Remember when Mahomes dislocated his kneecap? Everyone wrote them off, said the season was over. But did they panic? Did they crumble? No. They locked in, zoned out the noise, and did what they do best: win. And then there's the iconic 2019 AFC Championship, down 10 with 7 minutes left. Any other team folds. Kansas City, they roared back. They didn't blink. They didn't hesitate. They played like true champions. Composed, fearless, relentless. That's what they've built in Kansas City. A culture of belief. A mindset of dominance. A standard where giving up doesn't exist. A Super Bowl loss won't break that, it will fuel it. But let's not just talk Mahomes and Reed all day. Let's break down the weapons, the wall, and the warriors around them. Let's start with the offensive line. You remember that nightmare against Tampa Bay? Mahomes running for his life with no protection. Well, that's ancient history. This team went to work. They didn't patch it. They rebuilt it. And now they've turned that O-line into a fortified fortress. Enter Josh Simmons, rookie offensive tackle and a potential generational talent. This kid is about to shut down Mahomes' blind side for years to come. That's not just protection, that's power. Now you're giving the most dangerous QB in football time. And when you give Mahomes time, you're giving him a scalpel to surgically dismantle defenses. Bad news for the rest of the AFC? Absolutely. Now let's talk about those pass catchers. Travis Kelce is still the gold standard at tight end. No debate, he's him. But Mahomes ain't a one-man army anymore. You've got Juju Smith-Schuster, a proven Super Bowl vet. Rashee Rice, a rising star with freakish upside. Sky Moore, Marquez Valdez, scantling speed, size, and swagger. This wideout room? Deep, dangerous, deadly. Defenses will be stretched thin, and double-teaming Kelce means leaving someone wide open. Now let's flip to the defense. It ain't flashy. It's ferocious. Chris Jones, a wrecking ball in the trenches. Frank Clark, still bringing that edge heat. The secondary, L'Jarius Sneed, Thornhill. A crew full of dogs who don't need recognition. Just give them the fourth quarter and they'll make plays that flip games. Now, the Chiefs' defense may not be trending on social media, but when the pressure's on and the lights are blinding, they deliver. They've done it before. They'll do it again. Now, let's talk playoffs. The road to the AFC Championship still runs through Arrowhead Stadium, and trust me, no matter how much talent the other teams stack, they don't have Arrowhead. The noise, the energy, the unmatched home field intensity. You've got the best QB, the best coach, and the most loyal fan base in football. You're already winning before kickoff. Good luck walking into that firestorm and trying to survive, because it's going to take a miracle to knock this kingdom off its throne. And don't forget the ultimate goal, the rings, the legacy. Mahomes is chasing his third, and Reed is aiming for number 2. When you're inches away from immortality, you don't slow down. You don't relax. You reload, you refocus, and you rise again. That's the energy in Kansas City right now. No distractions, no detours, just domination. So, mark my words, the Chiefs are returning with vengeance, with precision, and with purpose. And if you think you've already seen their peak, you ain't seen nothing yet. Final CCA, call to action. Here's what I want you to do. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are the Chiefs still the team to beat? Or is someone else about to make a run? Smash that like button if you're all in on KC. And make sure you subscribe, because this season, it's going to be legendary. Chiefs Kingdom, it's go time. Let's run it back. I hope y'all are seated, because what I'm about to unload ain't for the faint of heart. There's a storm brewing in Kansas City, and this ain't some ordinary thunderclap. It's the kind of high-voltage firepower that's got defensive coordinators wide awake, sweating through silk sheets at 3 a.m. I won't spoil the bombshell just yet, but if you thought Mahomes and this crew were dangerous before, buckle up. Watch this entire video from start to finish, because what's coming next might just shake the league to its core. Smash that like button, drop a quick W if you're still riding with the Chiefs, or L if your beliefs on life support. And hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a second of this rampage. Now, let me say this loud and clear, and don't blink while I'm saying it. The Kansas City Chiefs aren't just reloading, they're reawakening a sleeping giant. We've been talking about this team for years like they cracked the code. Mahomes with the Midas arm. Kelsey rewriting the rulebook on tight end play. But something shifted. Something subtle. Something that didn't grab headlines, but real ones saw it. The soul of the offense changed. And it all started the second Tyreek Hill got shipped out in 2022. Let's be real. I don't care how many TDs you throw, how many W's you rack up. When you lose a nuclear weapon like Hill, the whole formula changes. He wasn't just B, he was terror incarnate. For defenses, he warped the field. He bent coverage like gravity. Losing him left a gaping hole in the playbook, a jigsaw puzzle missing the piece that made everything click.